Yes, me friend, me dip on street again. The bars could not hold me, force could not control me now. They tried to keep me down, but God put me around. Yes, I've been accused, wrongly abused now, but through the powers of the Most High, they got to turn me loose. Don't try to hold me up on this bridge now. I've got to reach Mount Zion, highest ridge, y'all. If you are bullbucker, let me tell you that I'm a dopey conqueror, conqueror. Yes, me friend, me good friend, them set me free again. Yes, me friend, them turn me loose again. Don't try to hold me up on this bridge now. I've got to reach Mount Zion, highest ridge, y'all. If you apple bucker, let me tell you, I'm a dopey conqueror. Is it conqueror? Yes, me friend, me friend, me friend, we did a street again. Yes, me friend, me friend, me friend, them set me free again. Don't try to show we make you friend them love. What a la la, for I will cut you off, and I will take the last off. I'm crying, yes, me friend, I got tired to see we face. Oh yeah. They said them can't get me out of the race. Oh man, it's just a big disgrace. The way you drive backyard, the way you make wrong moves, the way you drive backyard, make you drive backyard, make you drive backyard. In a robot style, robot style.
No more worrying and pain. No more crying, shedding tears like rain. For the Master has come back, gathering all his flock. Mother Nature feeds the stock. Never want nor ever lack. So bite up with reasoning. Humble thyself and I'll be near thee. Bite up with reasoning. Humble thyself and I'll protect thee. Bite up with reasoning. Humble thyself and I'll be near thee. Bite up with reasoning. Humble thyself and I'll protect thee. Frustrated children, humiliation was not in vain. Through effort, time, and history have now found eternal gain. For the dark clouds to bring rain, then comes the sun to shine again. So we shall walk and not look back, as living examples, cause we're black. So bite up with reasoning. Humble thyself and I'll be near thee. Bite up with reasoning. Humble thyself and I'll protect thee. Bite up with reasoning. Humble thyself and I'll be near thee. Bite up with reasoning. Humble thyself and I'll protect thee. No more worrying and the pain. No more crying, shedding tears like rain.
Joker smoker, Joker smoker, summer Joker smoker, Joker smoker, Joker smoker. Smoking is a habit, some man can't maintain it. Oh yeah, them come on your corner, them a beg you sensei mania. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You give them sensei mania, them a beg you a rizzler. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You give them the rizzler, them a borrow your lighter. To give away, I don't feel no way. But every day you are come with the sensei. Me, I beg you, ask listen.
Yeah. To African people, to African tribe, to
Greetings, we there with you. Cultural expression, but we are stick with the illiteracy. That thing that hurt my heart. So we're gonna finish it now. Give about 40 minutes and then we're gone. there's some things that stay on people's mind and stay on people's heart, and it just resonate right there because for me, it's truth. For the next person, I don't know. You understand? And when you feel deep for your people and deep for things that you come in an environment called England and experience what them call racism and discrimination and then entrapment and but grievously body harm from the people them that is the law that's supposed to be supporting and helping develop society to be a cohesive environment, and you know, and it now work for us. You see, it hurts, you know, and then you go through experiences, and then you see the news, and then the environment you live in, you know, resonate that intolerance and that bigotry and that discrimination, let alone the environment that you try work within or try express your talents within. And these are the things that we face. You understand? And then we, like me, my family, we grow with this. And then when you hear other people, them express them feelings, and the nation and their people, them respond to them. No one responds to us, you know. So when we do something like that one, you know, it kind of, wow. So it flowed, but then when we listen it back, I was an audience. You understand? I was an audience. And it gripped me because I was an audience. It come like it wasn't me trying to make some clarity and make some adjustments and, you know, reposition myself and say, all right, that there was good, but that wasn't, and that should have tie in with that. No, I was an audience. Yeah. So, and me experience some of my brethren, them, some of the elders, them, that suffered just trying to do what they felt was right and proper for us. It tore them apart. And I see many of them who didn't have a life, really. They live for us. And they live passionately trying to get social science, law, and politics recognizing that we should be given human rights. In England, we not talk American, we talk England. And them put all them time, their life, some of them ruin their families because them just dedicate every hour that the Almighty lend them just trying to make our future in England better than that which they were experiencing. I evolved out of that, you know. And I can recall telling my mother, oh, me feel. And she never said, just put your trust in God. She just said, I have to warn you, because you're my child. Mind who you spend time around. You see? And it wasn't spend time around us that she was concerned about. It's going places or walking in areas that we were vulnerable. And I wasn't one for this walking boat. That came much, much later in my life, you know. And I did like walking. Yeah, me like walking around and navigating places. You see? So she didn't deter me. But when I used to get stopped and handled, I always told her. And she explained to me what to do and what not to do. First, she asked me what did I do. And second, she asked me how did I feel. And third, she asked me what did they do. Because it was all about me. You know, it's all about me. So I learned how to avoid them. Not run, not hide, just avoid them. Yes, sir, officer, 3 bags full, officer. Can I help you? Was I doing something wrong, officer? Hey, you know. But that went for years until, yeah, what a thing. Until I became a statutory servant. I did. What a thing. And a set of police grabbed me, my cousin, and some other people. And we just closed up one of their premises. But they ill-treated me. Them handcuffed me and fling me up against a fence. First over the car, then up against another lot came and then over the fence. They did it to everybody, really. And my cousin was roughed up some and was not detained. But me and one other brother, we were detained. It didn't take my father 2 minutes to realize that the reason this is happening is because we were coordinating a defense committee against police brutality. Yeah, police wrongful charges of some of our young men that attended Notting Gate Carnival. It didn't take him no length of time from him come up there forget me out. That's what him say. Show me a body, and anybody who abuse you and they're here, point them out to me. Hey, boy. You know? And deep down inside him, I think he wanted me to stop. But he never said that. And I didn't. I asked him to make them pay. And my mother said, they will. I asked my dad to make them pay. And my mother answered, they will. And the legal apparatus started right there. No messing around. No burning down nothing. And we had enough people assembled. Yes, we had enough people assembled. Not for me, but for our cause and our purpose. Not for me and the rest of them. And their families were there too. But you see, my mother, legal. And it was the second, maybe, I don't know which one, because there was a law center established in Brixton, and we had a law and one in Labrador Grove, and we had one in Islington. And representative from that last center and some man them, some I them from Labrador Grove was right there. I don't know how them get, hey, them there, they don't know how them man they get there, no. How them people got from that side, up that side, you know. And you must know, say, a bus and train, and then foot. But they were there, and the statements were taken. So it's fresh. And then all of those people got together and determined who would be more suited to represent this situation. That is what you call information that give you empowerment. Have we got that today for our children? Really, have we? We have a whole heap of liars. But do they have a law society in the area them? Are they affiliated? Are they attached to the area them without going to a dance or some ceremony? Is it? You understand? These are things that I am about. And that's the community that we grew up in. And that's the community that saw themselves as a community. And people them see themselves as a member of a community. And people them shape themselves to represent, support those who were part of them. And you know why they could have done that so strongly? Because we were taught how to behave and how not to behave. So when someone says he's innocent, they meant it 1,000%. They're not saying it because I was a black child and they know my mother and father. No. None of us. Them could have swear on us. Because we carried something that came deep down from families. And our people, them in the era, respected, and we respected them as children. So today, with all the churches that meant to be us in their preaching, what the hell, pastors, are you all actually preaching? Them time the people that got a white boy church. I was a reader in that church there. The only black church or black place that had meeting was where we went at the Methodist, and that wasn't ours. You know where our real church was? Black House. Yes. And me, I was one of them that never support Black House a part of its project. I never support the hostel accommodation. But you see, when it comes to this activist, this self-determination, and this development of understanding that we should not tolerate racism, oh yes, it fueled my spirit. It made me feel that I am somebody and not to be afraid every time I step out of my mother's place. You understand? Some of you need to speak to your parents, man. I know we had hard times. And nothing really changed. It just looks like it. At hard times here. Stepping out and have fear. Stepping out and having to make yourself strong just in case. In the event of. Come on, man. Let's be sensible. And now our children, in 2019, 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. At that time, they're being killed wholesale. And we come from that journey in the 70s, roughed up, beat up, fix up, charged for all kind of thing. Let us be sensible. The track record is too long. And now you have this football thing that some of our people try to get into, and now they're showing their ugly face in relation to racism. And just because them a feel it, somebody's are gonna turn out and say that them have to stay there and endure it because we pay you. Come on, you pay what? So they don't actually care about the person. All they want is your talent. That's good. But what about your humanity? What about your humanity? What about our dignity? You want to hear them talk about it. And you want to hear them say that that won't be a good thing to do. But yet still they don't do nothing about the people them who is calling us these names and abusing us and throwing peanuts and you should give us them anyway, but throwing peanuts and banana skin and making noises and everything. Now, if they did that to some other people and then went to the Mail and the Express, they went to the tabloids, and then them go to the popular radio station and explain their hurt. And even it wasn't even them. It's being reported to them. And then when they go there, they show their commiseration. And then how much them love England. And for the next week or so, it's going to be number one news. Until it reached Parliament in the Prime Minister's address. And you better know that police commander-in-chief would be consulted. And you better well know so that investigation, serious investigation, not some talk shop investigation, serious investigation will be immediately taking place. Why don't we get that type of treatment? What? We don't know the law. And that's what I'm telling all these other people, you know. We came up with people who tell us, yeah, you're angry, but we need to use our heads. We need to understand what these courts do and how the legal apparatus actually work and how to file complaints through them and then track them and find them, find out what is actually happening before them just put it in a waiting tray. So we start learning, we are young people, start learning how administration actually works. And what is administration? For all different departments, including housing and jobs and employment. I'm saying all this to say, if we're not, which we shouldn't be, illiterate, we should have been on top of all of this. And more, much more. But once we don't trust each other, which seems to be really the issues here, and we don't really come together unless it's a dance. And right now, I've just seen, I've seen Scala too, and a few other venues. The audience is not us. So we have to find out I would think we need to find out what is it that we're not actually doing, because there's an audience for naked girls. It's an audience for bashment. But it's not an audience for culture. We have gone somewhere. And those who are in attendance in these audience, them have changed the tone. They've changed the sound wave, which in us, there's some snippets inside of it that makes some people feel. But it's all that skunk wave. That's what I call it. And you find some man, them are 70 in a this. Ooh. And I'm trying to figure out all day, all week, how is it that we leave what is ours and take another track And then some of you have been to lectures speaking about this sound change, this sound waves, how it manipulates the faculties and attitudes. And you've heard Lauryn Hill and others with their pain in relation to these big music corporations wanting a particular thing. And they will damage those people because that's what they want. And they're insisting, if you don't give us what we want, you can't give nothing. And that's only because they signed before. They didn't know that it was going to lead to that. And then if you look at reggae, don't you see everybody run to America? If you don't go to America, you're not in this world. If you don't try and get a contract in America, you're not in this world. If you don't take off your clothes and go to America, you're not in this world. If you don't seduce your sisters, them and everybody, you're not in this world. If you don't do all of that and then change your culture and simulate into something else. And the said people are just like a Asian man, them. The things that them sell, their women don't wear. And their women is also inside many of these popular shops running the place. And we go there and buy all kind of medical cosmetics and put on. We buy all kind of dead people here and horse here and everything else and put on. And many of those people are Muslims. See, brothers, what are you doing? And you are seduce and not turn around and tell them, sisters, listen, in terms of halal, this is not good for you. And now you like it, but it's not good for you. I'm speaking to my brother, I'm speaking to my cousin, I'm speaking to my uncle, I'm speaking to my father concerning it. Please, if you boycott it, shh, he's coming. If you boycott it, it's good for you. I can't sleep to think that Allah tells me that which is haram, abstain from, and I'm selling it to you. You see the point? So there's guilt everywhere. And everybody seems to use us as fodder. But the most important thing in all of this is that we have done it to ourselves. Because my generation, how much of you are taught to your children? And the one before me, how much of you all are speaking and have been speaking to your children? Because those children that got killed out there and those children that's behaving out there, they come from somewhere. Them have parents. And that's for we responsibility. There's no point turning around and say, well, you see how the media do things? Yeah, we know that. But when we are walk to the church and the families of them children are walk to the morgue and then to the funeral parlor and then to the church and then to the cemetery, it's us. So shouldn't we care? And should we consider that tomorrow or the next minute it could be our grandchild, our child? A serious thing. So when me was rambling on about the dance, them, it wasn't something based on no jealousy or I wish them they'd give me a call or no. It's sad. So he tie them things into to Egypt, Kemet, like these other man them can't do, won't do. And Moses, Musa alayhi salam, and Yusuf alayhi salam. And look at it. It's no point say that people is involved with all these things and can't get the message that's helping, that would be helpful and is helpful to our people, our persons, if you just try to understand it and stop going through some other person's eyes, some other person's emotion, and don't link it to that which is our circumference, really. Because there's many things that is not applicable to us because we're not having that disturbance and it's not fitting in our cultural modality. A serious thing that, Deep. But too much people I think that so many things are offensive. Like me, I say pastor. What is the pastor? Most of the pastors, them generalizing are business people. Me not fret about them business, but don't do it in the name of God. Whether it's imam or whatever, don't do it in the name of God. Did not Christ tell you, man? But then you see, it's our person, not interpret it. It's what a person's actually looking for. And what they want in them life. You see? So when we tie all that up together now, it's pain. It's pain. And I'm telling you, if we don't see ourselves as precious, do we expect others to see us as precious? The only time the people see that is when they want something of us, and which is always amusement and play. Them call we young men them bad name, but yet still they want them on the pitch. The reason I call them bad name now in at this time is because they're earning in relation to their counterparts. Some people are see that as a threat. They don't like that. How dare you pay Pabba X amount more than that youth there that was the highest paid, that left Spurs and gone. Huh? How dare you? And then how dare you get all these other Africans and pay them this type of money? Them need to go to Liverpool and say, why you buy all of them Africans? They don't do that. They don't write them up. Because they would have to say what they're seeing. And they would have to speak about integration. And they would have to speak about how the not just the culture of the people, their commitment. They would have to speak that. When you do that now, you're exercising motivation. And they know that young spirits will cling to that motivation. They're not going to see color, but they know that they're color. But they're also knowing that they can do it too. And that's what this thing is all about. They say, no, put them back in a box. You see them does interview Sterling. You see them does be up there, all of these man them that are, them have some beautiful skills and talent. You see them do that? No. They be a sharer. Them talk a lot about Henry. Huh? When he was playing, did you see them push the mic up in his face and everything and talk about in fantastic balance and coordination? Did they do that to Kanu? None of them things happens. Because it's about keeping us down. But yet still we turn up and we blood, sweat and tears for England. And when them see that one time, there would be, when Huddle had the team, at least 7 black men would be on the pitch. In the team, on the pitch, one time. Someone said, that cannot happen, you can't do that. Hey, Glenn, what you doing? You think we don't watch? And then when you have to come run for England now for something, they want we. So, what is it that we're all about? I'm saying hijack all of that, man. Just say, watch out, I've got my worth. But yet still you all out there saying, you like Amawali. You like Malcolm X. Eh? But you don't like him when he's Al-Hajj Mendel Al-Shabazz. No, you just like him when him tell them about themselves. And it make we feel strong to say, when we say no, we mean no. But when him say, be an African, look after our women, have pride and decency, be strong, don't walk the wrong side, stay on the right side, so you don't give nobody no opportunity to come and bust your head. And he'll treat you in any which way or form. You don't like that part of him? Oh, you like Martin Luther, right? Turn the other cheek. When a man they bust you up, give him your back. And that's what they're doing today. They don't wait for the front. Them take us in any which way or form and just say that they felt threatened and them just shoot them down. That happens in America. Let that thing happen here where these police officers are given guns and see who get killed. The thing would always be them felt threatened. That them say put your hand up and them add something in his hand and it's a phone, God damn it. And it's not night time. And even if it was, it got light and they will create something to say that the light weren't working and then all of a sudden the CCTV happened to be malfunction. Hey, listen, we've been here. And we leave our children to be abused. When you watch, when our parents ever take our children to school, at primary school, they're there, man. And them find time and go evening and collect the child them and bring them home. And before them even go there, them have a sandwich and something for the child and everything. And then when they go home, them have a hot meal and so forth. How the hell does that change? Why does that change? Why? Just because some them can stand up after them reach 11, 12 and put on them trousers without falling down? And you say, well, what? Him have full responsibility, she have full responsibility for themselves. That's the thing. We just disconnect too early. And you know what? That's where the pastors, them are valuable again. Because we're coming from a spot where we had to create so much things for ourselves to get on that cultured ladder, that moral ladder, that dependency ladder, that caring ladder. Because we are children of the slave, can't you look? And that trauma, that bruise, that psychological wounding is in us. It's part of our genetic makeup. Them things that the people them put our parents, our ancestors them through. It comes through many of us. It does. It's pain. You sit down there and let people tell you about Second World War and God damn it, and forgot all about us. And then when some people want to talk, them attack ancestors and they're not even on the right path because they're hypocrites too and they're just using that as a soundbite. We need to wake up and be real. We need pastors. What? Pastors? Shepherds. People who take care. You see, Joseph's brothers were there learning how to be good pastors, taking care of the flock. Their problem was they were jealous of their brother because their father showed so much affection and attention to him. And it kind of make people feel that they didn't show any to them. And he was the youngest among them. Oh, Lord have mercy. Read the book properly. Read it. And the experiences there was that jealousy and enmity caused that problem, caused those issues. And them tell lie to them father. Lies pertaining to his well-being. 3 times. So I'm saying that jealousy and lies and envy is wickedness. And lusting is wickedness. So to have a shepherd projecting those things and having the meals to help people to not identify them, to eradicate them from them mental cycle is what we need, guidance. And that guidance don't come from us psychologists and sociologists, even though in our modern day, some of that people will see this thing come from the Creator, who is the one that made us. And when you read these stories, you see that there's always a chastisement or guidance or liberation coming from God again. How? Someone he chose, or some, not inspiration, the person he chose already, as in Moses, he keep calling him back and tell him do this, call him back and tell him do that. You understand? But nah, you want to watch the movie. Charlton Heston and all these, you want to watch the movie all the time. And then you have these pastors that's been told what to do and what not to do. And then they jump all over the place and try to make you believe so that it is Paul you have to fall in love with, and then christen the name Jesus Christ, and it's bar Jesus you work with a magician and everything. And then it's hopefully that you're feeling that things are going to be right, and when the pastor look in your face, that's what happens, and then a song comes up, and then later on tidings are in there, and so forth, and you feel so that everything was good. Yes, it was, because what? In touch emotion. It's an emotional discharge. Don't you know that? That's what it is. Song is also an emotional discharge. And if we stay within our precinct and everything within that, we don't go nowhere. We stay right there. Once the environment is not hostile and things are not over your head and so forth, and the grooves keep going, you're well in there. And that was us early. That was the only solace beside our meeting and everything that we had in this country. And we maintain that and keep our dignity. And if you listen back to what was said through those songs, you see that they were always keeping us up. Not down, up. And it was very informative. Am I saying all these things? Get off.
Yeah. They took us away from our father's land and brought us to slave on their wicked land.
Johnny Clark.
They made us work all day and night with no freedom and no
Vice.
rights.
Yeah, Johnny Clark.
With no freedom and no rights. To our African people, to our African tribe, to our African people,
See?
They took away our native tongue and taught their English to our young and old. But some old day we will overcome.
So when we are go Europe now and carry that, is who are we raising up? Who are we raising up? Is money them people that them man they are looking at? Is not culture them are spread? And then some of them have the audacity to say that them are break boundaries. It's easy to say that. What boundaries? And we want to repatriate. We want reparation, we want to repatriate. Eh? If you do that, go to the European Union. See? And sit down. That man did that make a party. Look how him get involved in the European Union. Not just to represent him party, you know, to represent him country. What I mean, I want to call him name. That man there. See? That's what him do. But when I take one a sound and take with the culture over there, so, to do what? To do what? To motivate who? To repatriate who? To make them put up a plaque in them European places, they're saying we're leaving Africa and we're returning all the spoils that we took. And most importantly, we will apologize to the living and to the dead for all the tragedies that we have created, all the tyranny that we have created. Especially Belgium, all of them. No, when I take, and we here at home, we want to come from, it's some serious problem. And many of your children is in that problem too. But money, what do they call it? Euro. You're a joke, man. Listen to this verse.
And know your culture. They took away our native tongue and taught their English to our young and old. But some old day we will overcome.
When is that going to be? Eh? When is that going to be? You integrationists. When is that going to be? A joke, man. Leave it.
Gotta settle down, oh yeah. Gotta settle down, girl. Whoa, whoa.
Hey, when it comes to music, it's a well radical, you know. I tell you, upside down,
Gotta
inside
settle
out.
down, gotta settle down, oh yeah. Gotta settle down, girl.
Bruce Radix.
Oh, yeah. She let go this one, she let go that one, she let go this one, she let go that one until she find the one who she loves. Oh yeah, now.
Right, you see the music here? The music here produced by a black man, an African man. The musician, an African man. And the company who put the music out and make millions is a white man. You see? Right? So, we didn't know. We did. But we sit back and let other people take leadership in a free thing. No wonder people them out there now feel say that for them to capitalize, for them to make some capital, that's what them have to do. You're mad. Lost for causes, man. Seriously. Not part of the revolution. Not really trying to repatriate. And that's why the Garvey thing just sits there. Because the sensibility, oh gosh, man, is non-existent. Yo, Anthony, be careful, man. We a chat like that for? Eh? What you doing, Anthony? Behave yourself, my son.
Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Wow, yeah. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Chan, 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 chan. Oh, what a feeling.
A reggae feeling.
Oh, what a feeling. This a reggae feeling. This a reggae feeling. I feel like dancing. I feel like moving. I feel like rocking. Oh, what a feeling. This a reggae feeling. This a reggae feeling. Yeah.
You see all the man they cross here, including the one that have version and everybody. They make living for themselves and them family, the children and everybody, and them country. Everybody can see, you know. Even if you're blind, you can see what his accomplishments are. And how determine what the greatest sentiments that him have is for him country, his people. See? And him a do business. Yes. Fly version, travel version, buy version, and bank version. Him have some holiday resorts and everything. Him have everything. Listen, the man spending the money. What we have. Many of the artists them that did their thing, who ain't died, need medical assistance. Yeah? You see? Okay. You want to work the thing. Think.
He dread in a jailhouse. He dread in a jailhouse. Innocent man, they are jailhouse. Innocent man, they are jailhouse.
And when me play that, it's man them now that have a record now. Them not a record that you listen to, you know. Them have some kind of criminal record, whether it's some ganja, whether it's speeding, whether it's a loaf of bread, is it? Deportees. That's how them starting it.
Oh, Jah, hear thy children praying. Each and every day, victimization. That's what I and I get in Babylon. Brutalization. That's what I and I get from Babylon. Natty roots can't even smoke. His eye sheds in peace. He has to be terrorized by the beast. Stop, don't move, put up your hands. In the wink of an eye, the rifles were right in my nose. Yeah, one of them say, bossy me. The whole of them agree. Because I'm a natty. Trailers, please officer. Don't be like a warrior. Not because you carry more guns than a aircraft carrier. After I'm a trudger with peace and love, then stop by innocently. Screw, now I come use brutality. Only by ignorance. Please officer, don't be like a warrior. Not because you carry more guns than a aircraft carrier. Yeah. Don't be like a warrior. Yeah. Oh, please officer.
See, that's a school. That's our cultured school. See? Yes. Some of us, is applicable to in the sense that we are get harassed and brutalized. Those of us who didn't made us understand, realize, see? So we stand strong, firm, upright, and so forth. You understand? These people understand these things, you know. They couldn't find ways of fracturing us. Reggae music, them never want it. And the people them who make it is making it for us. It's just a few of them people that try push themselves in the top of the pops, you know. The man, the culture was so good, the feelings of the people were so good that they might give we something, you know. Stop let people them tell on a rubbish. See? People them just go to work, sell them thing, help them father and so forth. I sell some things, them come from country and where, and them get a $500 and do a thing, them have some ideas and so forth, you know. But you think say something else. Yeah, joke. Jokers. Listen, my brethren. He's not my brethren, but principle find him. Yeah, frightened for live.
A big one. Oh, yeah, there's a big one. So that is a gun. Listen me. Hear me now. I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. Now, only thing. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. One more time. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. I build me a coffin. I make it my home. Because that is my only choice. This kind of life, I leave it alone. Because when I look around and I see man raping their own daughters mercilessly, man living with man, woman with woman. So how must I live? I can't understand. Look, I'm frightened to live. Whoa, I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. A bandit in my face with a gun. Take my ownings and began to run. I'm in the station reporting what the bandit do. I was the same bandit I was reporting to. Look, I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. Come again, let me hear. I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. One more time, come again. I'm frightened to live. Hey. I'm frightened to live. Hear me now. It is so obnoxious when I look around. Things I just hear and see. My God, how could I go on? Children killing children every day. Parents guiding their children to go astray. Tell me how those youths getting all those guns, and where in the world those guns coming from? You see, I'm frightened to live. Where you? I'm frightened to live. You come again. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. Hear this. If in my ceiling they find coke and gun, is my whole family they carrying down. But if the police get caught with the same refrain, all they getting is transfer to do crime again. You see, I'm frightened to live. Hey, I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. I'm frightened to live. Come again, let me hear. I'm frightened to live. Sing. I'm frightened to live. Music. Now you see this verse? This verse is my verse. I want to listen to my verse. My verse. Yeah. If our child could die by the hands of a bandit, police may halfway search, they may never catch the culprit. But if Mr. Big Man child end up dead, they go in to paint the old damn tongue red, putting out all force and energy, finding the killer immediately. So how must I live? Whoa, I'm frightened to live. Come again, I'm frightened to live. Hey, hear this, I turn to church, that's the answer. Listening to the priest preach on the altar, while taking in the words of the Almighty. You know the priest pelting sweet at me, is he a frightened to live?
Sin.
let us walk up this progress road. We right is right. And
Illiteracy. Listen, Harry Sandy.
come let us see, and we will find, 'cause there is brightness at the end. Illiteracy is poverty, almost to know. It's a problem in the world today. Illiteracy, we don't want. Illiteracy, we don't want. It's a disease that has spread its roots. We don't want it on this promised land. Illiteracy, we don't want. Illiteracy, we don't want. We don't want it. Illiteracy is poverty, we almost know. It's a problem in your way today. Illiteracy, we don't want. Illiteracy, we don't want. It's a disease that has spread its roots. We don't want it on this promised land. Illiteracy, we don't want. Illiteracy, we don't want.
Man called Harry Sandy. Everton De Silva. Yes, production.
I'm getting to be an old woman, and I think like most old women, you have to reflect at some point. I wrote a book called Gemini, sort of to bring people up to date.
I want you all to hear this again and digest it properly.
I'm getting to be an old woman, and I think like most old women, you have to reflect at some point. I wrote a book called Gemini, sort of to bring people up to date, at least on what I think I am, which is not quite, I'm sure, the whole truth. It never is. No reason I should be any different. I got my fantasies. So I wanted to read a part of the essay Gemini from the book Gemini, trying to deal with us. But if black men ever would decide to define a black man in black terms, I think they would have different expectations of us as women. I went to the opening of an African exhibit at the Brooklyn Museum and noticed only about a dozen black men in a crowd of at least 200 people. And I thought to myself, how odd, no black men. Then I looked at the exhibit piece by piece and began to think I understood something. There was a beautiful door from the Congo. And looking at that door, I saw a man, a woman, several children in the yard, and this white man saying, "Your door is an excellent example of the Kashana people's art, and I must take it back to Amsterdam." And this beautiful African, barefoot, with perhaps an earring in his left ear, replies, "But this door is the door to my house, and it is not for sale." And the woman, sensing something, stops the grinding of grain and begins gathering the children around her, while the white man goes on with, "I must have the door. The museum needs it, and I can make 50 dinars on it." And the African rises to his full height on his long, light legs, tribal markings dancing slightly on his face, eyes clear and hard, saying, "My family needs this door. It is mine. My father left it to me as his father did him. You may not have it. It is not for sale." and the cracker turns in a rage to leave. Then 2, perhaps 3 days later, the missionary comes up saying, "My son, your door is needed in a great country far away from here. You will be blessed by our Heavenly Father if you give your door to the merchant." And this magnificent African, stooping by his doorway, playing with one of his children, shakes his head. "I would be cursed by my ancestors. Go now, go away and leave us in peace." Then in the night the soldiers come with the guns. The African responds with a spear. The fire acts from the barrel. The woman screams. The children scatter, asking what is the matter. The man is stretched out in a pool of dark, murky liquid, and the door is taken down, hoisted upon the shoulders of the black mercenaries, walked to the sea, and freighted back to Amsterdam, so that it can be borrowed by the United States of America to show how the people in Kashana lived in 1582. And I began to understand why so few black men had come, because it was not a door at all, but dead ancestors murdered in their homes that they would see. Not a statue from Nigeria, but a raped woman, a slit throat, a burned village. And even as I saw that, I knew I would never understand the reality of being a black man. Men grow beards to protect the throat, have hair on their chest to protect the heart, have afros to cushion the head blows. And these things become aesthetically acceptable, if not preferable, but they always have their groundings in survival. My man and I can walk down the street together, and if some guy says something out of the way to me, it's an insult. To him, it could be his life. I can walk away from words and gestures and still be a woman. He cannot and still be a man. So little of a black man's existence relies on his acts. His women, mother, sister, lovers control his life, and generally so irresponsibly that it can be frightening. And sometimes black women aren't very nice for a lot of reasons. And sometimes we use our power against him for a lot of reasons. And I think some of the hostility is real and must be related to as such. We're angry, and so are they. But it's only when we admit it that we can get anywhere. I don't think a woman cares where she walks if you let her walk with you. And I don't think a man cares that a woman talks if she'll talk to him. And if we really understand we are born men and women, and it's our choice whether or not we stay that way, I think a lot will change. If now isn't a good time for the truth, I don't see when we're going to get to it, because I don't want my son to be a warrior, or to go to some school where some insensitive teacher asks him why I'm not married, or where some cracker thinks he can run my son down anytime, any kind of way he pleases. We need some happiness in our lives, some hope, some love. I didn't have a baby to see him be cannon fodder. Something more must be decided. If it's a real war, then he must be brave and true. If it's a mental war, he must be black and proud. But if it's the Wake the People Up war, Martin Luther King did that. Malcolm X did that. Stokely Carmichael did that. Rap Brown did it. And if people aren't awake, then perhaps the dreams are too good to be disturbed again. Perhaps black people don't want revolution at all. That too must be considered. And I decided to be a writer because people kept asking what would I become. And I couldn't see anywhere to go intellectually and thought I'd take a chance on feeling. I didn't want to get married, buy a 5-room house in the suburbs, and have lunch at Caproni's as my big event of the month. I could see becoming a bored, alcoholic social worker with a couple of kids I didn't want by a man I barely spoke to, and wondering at 35 what I'd done with my life. The second greatest thing that happened to me was getting kicked out of Fisk University because I had to deal with my life. I could go back to school, join Delta Sigma Theta, marry a Mahari man, and go quietly insane. Or I could go on to live. And I think I wanted to be famous because my mother deserves to have the world notice her existence. And my family has worked too hard to be ignored. I don't think I would have cared much if it hadn't been for them, but they deserve more. Other people put a lot of time and energy into me, and they deserve something too. And love means nothing unless we are willing to be responsible for those who love us, as well as those whom we love. People don't just love you out of the blue, you let them. And people have loved me when I needed to be loved. So as an adult, I must give some of that love back to those who want it, or it would have all have been for nothing. I think I'm no different from any other colored girl who has to grow up and make decisions and live by them. I think we are all capable of tremendous beauty once we decide we are beautiful, or of giving a lot of love once we understand love is possible, and of making the world over in that image if we choose to. I really like to think a black, beautiful, loving world is possible. I really do, I think.
is an anthem.
Now we come to the payoff. Now we come to the payoff.
This one coming straight from out of the dancer. This one coming straight from out of the dancer.
Bomber truck, damn you! Yeah, man of the roots once again. Rockers reggae music. Yeah, man of the roots once again. Rockers reggae music.
Now, here comes the music.
Here we go!
When you end up in a jailhouse,
Rhythm up!
Murderers!
Jailhouse, I don't want to go
Yeah, man
in
of
a
the roots once again.
jailhouse.
Rockers reggae music.
Jailhouse.
No, sir!
Oh, what a hell when you end up in a jailhouse.
Be a badness.
Oh, say what a tribulation when you end up in a curfew. Why yo? The first time I say you're gone in a jailhouse. The other time I say you're gone in a courthouse. The next time I say you're gone in a penitentiary. Man, you gone rob a century. But me friend, it better than the cemetery. Why yo? Bad boy mine, you end up in a jailhouse. Why you? Rude boy mine, you end up in a jailhouse. Oh, bad boy mine, you end up in a jailhouse. Why you? Why you? Got 10 man him have to smoke one cigarette, and 12 man him have to burn one spliff tail. And what a tribulation when you end up in a jailhouse. Why you? Say what a tribulation when you end up in a jailhouse. Oh, what a hell when you end up in a jailhouse. Lord, oh, what a hell when you walk up in a roadblock. The next time I say you're gone in a jailhouse. The other time I say you're gone to the courthouse. The other time I say you're gone in a penitentiary. A man you're gone spend a century. I say it better than the cemetery. Why you? Rude boy mine, you end up in a jailhouse. Why you? Life is so hard when you're down in the jailhouse. Why you? 12 man have to smoke one cigarette. 10 man have to burn one split tail. Man, I say it dread when you end up in a jailhouse. And then you're gone in a courthouse. Next thing you find yourself in a poor house. Why you bad boy?
Be a badness.
Jailhouse, I don't want to go in a jailhouse. Jailhouse, life is so hard in a jailhouse. Bad boy, I go feel it. Bad boy, I go feel it. Down in the jailhouse. Behave yourself, bad boy. You are go feel it down in the jailhouse.
say for we mother now, she made sure none of them things happen. And how is that? Raise we with discipline, manners, you understand? And how to walk with dignity, pride and respect. You understand? Who we respect? We respect ourselves, but our family, first thing. We don't want to bring our name, our parents' name in disrepute. We don't want to do that. You understand? We're told honor is important. See? So you want people to go around and call your name and then go in a courthouse and no, we're going courthouse working for us against something that's happened to us, not because somebody grab us and say we did this or that. No. Mom was very on top of that. Listen.
Stiff-necked fools, you think you are cool.
May I go away now? See? 2 more I'm gone. Got things to do.
Stiff-necked fools,
Yo, content, don't bother with it.
you are cool. To deny me for simplicity.
See?
Yes, you are gone for so long. With your love for vanity now. Yes, you have got the wrong interpretation, mixed up with vain imagination. So take your sun and your moon and your rain and your stars and forever, yes, erase your fantasy, yeah. The lips of the righteous teach many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man wealth is illicit, yeah. The righteous wealth is in his holy place. So take your sun and your moon and your rain and your stars and forever, yes, erase your fantasy. Destruction of the poor is in the poverty. Destruction of the soul is vanity, yeah. So stiff-necked fools, you think you are cool to deny me for simplicity. Yeah.
See? Messages, you know. What?
Some people got to have it. Hey, hey. Some people really need it. Listen to me, y'all. Do things, bad things with it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. People will steal from their mother. People will rob their own brother. People can't even walk the streets because they'll never know in the world they're gonna be. For that green, almighty dollar. That money. People will lie, they will cheat. People don't care who they hurt or beat. A woman will sell her precious body for a small piece of paper. It carries a lot of weight. For that green, almighty dollar. Talking about I don't know that money is the root of all evil. You funny thing, some people. Give me a nickel, brother, can you spare that? Money can drive some people out of their mind. No good, no good. Don't sell your soul for the money, no, no. Lay down, women will.
Yes, I wasn't a soul head, but that's one of the big tune that me draw. You understand? In a clash. And then me add the reggae version. See? Boy, I tell you. Anyway, reminiscing about past. Oh, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. The Lord our God is one Lord. There is no good except one, that is God. All power is given unto me. I can of my own self do nothing, but if thou will enter unto life, keep the commandments. You can go and check this in Mark 12, 20, 29 and 30, Matthew 19, 16, 17, 28, 16 and 17, Matthew 28 and 18, and John 5 and 30. Not St. John, John. Now we are going to Acts again. See me, I deal with the Acts, A lot of the Acts. You see it? Okay. Dusting out Paul. This is the thing. Right? And bar Jesus. Because we need to understand things, Acts 2:22. You see? Okay. All the twos. 22. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. Yeah. Jesus, which is for me, yeah, okay. Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved by God among you by miracles, wonders, and signs, which God did by him in the midst of you, as yourself also knows. You may I hear that again? And what may I say is, stop saying that this person is God. It not help. It is a distortion to your soul. It's not helping. It's not. I'm telling you, it's supremacy gone wrong. Acts 2:22. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved by God among you, by miracles, wonders, and signs, which God did by him in the midst of you, as yourselves also knows. This is Bible verses, you know. This is out of that Testament, see? So, it is for people not to let the pastor them jump from somewhere to some other place and then get you all sitting there and you're fascinated by me, the pastor. Because that's what happens. You get mentally attracted to this thing and you feel, say, yeah, because every now and again I tell you, say, that I had a dream and this and that and ever, and God has inspired me and everything. And then people call me the man of God and everything. So when I trust me in anything that I say, anything that I do, and so forth, yeah? And it's a black man in front of you. And you can ask questions and know you're trapped not to ask questions. When a white man was there, you couldn't even talk and breathe. But now you got someone looking like you, now you're stuck again. Why is that? See? It's all about how they taught them. Personalities, you understand? And many of you, our elders, them they hole in the book. And them read something, or them look up something similar to what he's saying, and they know that is wrong, and they want to say something, you know. Them bowels are hurt them stomach, them have cramp, all kind of thing, and they want to open them out, and when them come out, them go tell them husband or somebody, you know, that thing that the pastor said, that's not true. Where him get that from? My Bible don't read like that, you know. I add the verse there. How him get to see things like that? Martha, shut up. What you know? You can't know more than the pastor. Pastor is a man of God. The Holy Spirit, that's sweet, the point. You see? The Holy Spirit now anointed him. The Holy Spirit entered him. And all these things. See? So him get away with that. Martha gone home feeling not right, saying, I don't understand. Spend the whole night reading this thing back and forth and said, may God forgive him. I tell you. Get up in the morning, same thing again. Martha said, wait. But how him can do that? I wonder. And go out there now and buy another Bible to see if it is in that one. And find out that him add something. Because it's about the personality, you see. Yeah. So, and they all said it's all God's work they're doing. And it's God's work mixed with theirs. God never sanctioned things to be like that. I mean, they have also said which God you deal with, and you know what I mean. So, I deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty. Other people that deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala too, you know. It's just they don't know the name, but nevertheless, because Yeshua became something, and then becomes something, then become Bar Jesus, and then Jesus become God, and you know what I mean? It just goes on, you know, and we're stuck right there. So let's take care of our children, take care of ourselves, take care of our health. Yeah, health. You deal with this Tetlan, you know. We need to go back to what our parents them used to have, you know. You see them in enamel pan them? We never just scratch them, you know. We only scratch them, we wash them. See? Yeah, go back to the thing them and leave these Tetlan thing that interfere with people, them thyroid and all these things. I have something for bring up and play upon that too, right? And my wife, she never trust them thing there. She never. And my mother too, never trust them thing there. At all. And they never read nothing, you know. It's just that mom looked on the thing and said, nah, they're going a bit too far. You see? Yeah. And my mother liked boiling things. She liked steaming things. Yeah. You know, there's certain things that we couldn't get her to change. I'm telling you. Regardless of what we try to do, she's not changing it, man. Not changing it. Don't matter if you go buy it yourself. She's not changing it. She said, you keep it. That's what you want. You keep that. Let me stay with what I got. I know this already. You see? Yeah. It's things like that that you're missing that hurt your soul. It really does. You know what I mean? So, give thanks, my God. Yeah. Money again. Guidance. Take good care of yourselves, your children, your grandchildren. Speak to your children. Speak to your friends them that have children. You know what I mean? And get a bond going on in each other's yard and talk about yourself. Talk about the things that you need to do, the things that you've been trying and things that you didn't try and so forth. That makes us good. That keeps us bonded. That keeps us inspired and everything, you know. You see? Me grow up like that. You understand? Don't just go there for sit down and bun and all them something there. You see? Talk about life. You know what I mean? Your expectations, your aspirations, the desires that you did have and it didn't work, and you try and make sure that your children them don't slip in that same spot and so forth. Yes. And you know, and maybe there are things that you're not understanding. Share that with somebody, don't feel belittled, right? Because when I know everything, no one knows everything. No one. Only God Almighty. So when you put yourself in that kind of mindset, you just feel good because you don't care if Martha go across the road and say, you know, Alville, him never know this and that. And that. That's it low on her. Because is she and Alville discuss something and she make Alville understand something and then she go tell people in the marketplace and where and all that. That's the low is on her. It's not on me or whoever Alville is. You understand? So you just have to keep moving. And then when you meet her up again, just say, hey, Martha, where you come like advertisement for? Say, what do you mean? Where you go around and tell everybody, say, me and you are talking about and everything. Tell them yes, but don't tell them, say that I didn't know. I didn't. And you inform me. But how much things that you didn't know that I inform you? Should I go now and tell them all that you couldn't spell? And mentally you are illiterate? Should I do that? All you can do is talk. You have a good memory, but you can't write, you can't read and spell. You're good at counting. Should I do that? You see? So now what we're doing now is creating enmity and strife and mistrust and everything. And we're not better, and each one of us needs some support. Now that's the real heartful part of illiteracy. When no one never take no time out to try and learn. See? And some people listen to these want to be feminist people and tell you say, to boycott the British education. And they haven't got anything to put in place. Not even put in place. They haven't got anything in place. So then you have to ask them about their education. And you find that them I went university too. I went to university and them graduate and them have a bundle of GCSEs and at least 4 A-levels. And they went and study a PhD or degree. And they want you not to have anything because you're supposed to be this activist and this, you know, and so forth. And maybe a Pan-African is with them, feminist movement, and you don't have nothing. And then them introduce you on a stage saying that you're one of the brethren and sisterins that decided you don't want Caucasian or European education. And the audience should be asking, so how are they meant to survive? And what you're doing is pimping off your parents. But you then had the thought to say to me, whoever, how is it that, what qualifications have you got? What school did you attend? What college did you attend? And what university? What? Yeah, well, I didn't know what I know now. And what's that? That we shouldn't get what you got. And then if you follow them and see where they live, then you really start to regret listening to such. You understand? Render that which is to Caesar to Caesar. See? And why is we there? The prophet told us, in a man's foreign land, obey their law, stand upright. If they prohibit you and obstruct you from worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is to pray, move and go elsewhere, because I have made this earth spacious. See, don't cause problem. Do not cause problem. And what we have? So what if the people are cause problem, and some people are vulnerable, and them get entrapped? So we African people, we have to teach, talk, communicate, meet. You understand? Share food, break bread, all of these things we have to do. We have to return to that. That's what me I say. You understand? Because how you can have a community, or a place you want to call a community, and all you know is the person when you pass them on the street or on a bus, or when there's a wedding, or a dance, or a funeral. Yeah? You see faces. That's not community. You have to be active in that community. You see? Visit each other's home. Start trust people. See? If you trust people, your door is a swing door. But right now, guidance, money. You see the time change selection? The man them who want to come play them sound, yeah? That realize, you know, they weren't playing. You see? Them get 2 and 3 dance in Europe, but them not up there with the rest of the people. Them for change them thing like that. Now them, you know, principle I give them enough measurement tools, and yeah, so just leave them there. You know what I mean? Just leave them there. So every now and again we come back, we catch an audience, and you know what I mean? Them just don't understand how principle can stream the thing that way, and, you know, link that way. And their journey come latelys, because if they're original, they won't have to have a problem. See? If they're original. But since them are disc jockey and discotheque people, they have a problem. And the problem is how to put it together. You see? Yeah. Principle. You know, say you think say me bossy, innit? You just don't understand. I love what I'm doing, you know.
Money, money, money. Now hear this! You little spit and chew son boy. You must think you can go by experience I will work. You must think I saw King Selassie I get him crowned. No way. You got to work hard for it. Now bring your little old pants down and pull it down. Come with it. Money, 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 money is the root of all evil. Money, 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 people is the root of all evil. You work for a man and you get no pay. Brother, don't do nothing wrong. Don't let no one influence you. When trouble comes, it's you all alone. Money, 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 people is the root of all evil. Money, 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 tell you it's the root of all evil. Some steal it, some kill for it, some do iniquity for it. And make friends, break friends, two stars betray crowns for it. Money, 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 tell you it's the root of all evil. Money, 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 people is the root of all evil. Can't live without it.
A serious problem. There's not a human being on this earth that don't want good and wouldn't like good and wouldn't appreciate goodness from another human being, whether them look like them or not. See? So the key of godliness is to release our soul. But the conditions that the man has put us in, most of our souls are oppressed by the conditions mentally that them put us in. So when we go and mass our church, that's when we rise. But pastors them suppress it still, but tickle our emotions every now and again. Because African people, black people, are very spiritual. They're God-fearing people, regardless of names, of anything. We seek the Almighty, black people, wherever. You understand? It's in us. So all I'm saying is, someone out there need to take them shackles off of us. And the ones them that portray themselves to be teachers of faith, deen, religion, and teaching about God, they need to step off and see themselves as another human being just like us and want to love us and treat us proper. You understand? Proper things. Stop all this artificial nonsense. You understand? Because every man knows it when him elope with this person that him say he want to make life with. Him know what love is when him there with her. And when him a try pursue her, him know it. And she knows it. So why we pretend and I go through all these things and let people continue to misuse our souls? Now we need to stop that. We need to stop it like now, immediately. You understand? We need to. Because we make people misuse. You understand? And we are only here for a short time, you know. Because we don't know what length of time is. We don't know that. We do not know that. So we have to value the time we have. And then look at the offsprings that we have. And feel good about it because you can recall how we grew. You understand? This is pleasure. Yeah. Did I say those things? Gone. May I pray this one in remembrance of my brother. See it? Yeah. Listen. And it's not that I don't remember my brother, you know. Yeah, joke. Don't have them ideas going in your head.
Must dance. Dear Kitos, my friend, good day. Hoping you are keeping the best of health. How is the music down there in Boneyard? I hear that Busby have a sound system. and that Naya Keith is the disc jockey. But them can't get no red stripe beer for selling a dance at night. Tell Zaki, the high priest, who used to lead the toughest, one who could go, toughest. Give him my regards. Tell him, Prince Buster says, hello. Toughest. And Keith, if you should see Rashi, you know Rashi from Bakawal, give him my regards. And if you should see the two brothers, Stinky Pummels and Kirpan, we grew together, tell them, Prince Buster says, so long, sorry we had to go so soon. Since music with the food of love, I'll forever sing on. And Foresters all, we'll soon get back on ship.
Seeing Prince Buster, guidance, gone. Salam alaikum. God willing, we there.